Hello, everyone, and thank you to welcome to another Jewel from our Jewels Zoom. These have been such a blessing for so many people. I get messages all the time about how wonderful this resource is for the golds and above. And today we have an awesome guest, Natalie Foeller, and she is I have used her so much for our compensation plan training. Her video on that has been such an amazing tool for me and our teams and everybody else in Plexus. And I was able to meet her in person. Well, I've met her at different events, but at our training in Atlanta, got to visit with her more. Wish I was more, and she's just an awesome lady. She's from Canada. And I'm going to turn it over to her, and she can do her testimony and whatever she wants to do for us today. And I know we are all excited to have you, Natalie.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy. And I'm so excited to be here. And it was great getting to know you in Atlanta. And I look forward to convention and Hawaii and all the opportunities that we have coming up. Yeah. And thank you guys for having me on here. I think maybe what I'll do is start by telling you a little bit of my story and how I came to Plexus and why Plexus. I think it's probably says a lot sort of gives you a lot of little gems in there. I've been doing network marketing now for this November will be 22 years. November of 1994, I signed up in network marketing, and I can hear a little one somewhere. There we go. And I didn't, like a lot of people, I kind of fell into my first experience. I wasn't looking for a home-based business. I was a nurse manager of a pretty large department. I was a maternal infant high-risk nurse. I coordinated the prenatal programs. I did all the well baby and high-risk children up to age 4. Loved what I did. I went to university, did my bachelor's of science in nursing, and didn't see myself wanting to do anything else but do my nursing. What I found pretty quickly was that I was often legislated to see families that really didn't want to see me because I worked for Children's Services. Because I was working with high-risk families, so they weren't really motivated to make changes. They just wanted to get me out of their house. And I also found that as much as I enjoyed the work, I didn't like that they expected me to show up 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday, week after week. They didn't like it if I didn't want to come to work, and I didn't like that I had to submit for holidays. But when I got into my first experience, I was just using the products. I chose, after 6 months of buying them retail through the doctor I was getting them from, to pay the $50, and at $50 and get a wholesale membership. I wasn't looking to do a business. But here was what I learned. In that 6 months that I was buying the products, I was talking a lot about the benefits I was getting. I was talking enthusiastically about what I was learning, how natural products can be so much more effective than drugs, how there's so many things we can do holistically that can impact our health. And I became kind of that granola mom because I chose not to vaccinate my children. I chose to raise them differently than I might have raised them had I not gathered all this information that I was gathering. And I was talking a lot at work. And interestingly, I was actually managing the immunization program through the public health department. So that was a big challenge, as I wouldn't vaccinate my own children. Well, I was talking about it so much that by the time I became a wholesale member of this company, people were interested in buying the products. I didn't know anything about the comp plan. I hadn't looked at the comp plan, hadn't opened the success kit or anything. I literally just put a notice on the health unit door. Staff room said, "This is my ID number. If you call there, you can order through my account." Well, my first check was $1,200. And that check arrived December of 1994. My husband was a CPA. I hadn't told him what I had done because he was so negative about network marketing that I didn't want him to know. And when I got this check, I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? I got into some kind of scam. And I called our best friend, and he was a lawyer, and he checked into it, called me back and said, "You fool, that's called a commission check. You reached the first level called manager. There was a $500 bonus. The rest of the money, the $700 and some dollars, was actually commissions on the sales you made." And I said, "I didn't make any sales." Well, it turned out that me talking for 6 months at the health unit had created paradigm shifts in so many people So many were excited about the idea of using natural products and using what I was using that they went and ordered these products. In fact, so much so that I had reached this level that required $5,000 in sales. So the first thing is make sure you're talking a lot enthusiastically. And you see, I was doing it without thinking of making money. I was just speaking from my heart and genuinely about the benefits of the products. So this check came not because of 1 month's worth, but because of 6 months of educating people and talking to people about these products. Came home and found, and of course by this time I had learned that the products, I had learned about the what you could get paid. So did my husband, and he said, Nat, what if you started working this business? You could really make some money. So we decided to start working it. We went to our first event in Toronto, which is about 2 hours from where we live, just to learn a little bit more. And I started building with intention. I'd never heard anything about network marketing. The best advice I got that very first week when I decided to do the business, because you see, I had signed up through a physician who wasn't doing the business. And he was signed up by a physician who wasn't doing the business. So I had to really reach up to find somebody who was doing the business. And the best advice this gentleman gave me was become a reader, start reading books. And the book back then, 20 years ago, was Your First Year in Network Marketing. And it's still out there today. I'm not saying it's the best one, but it was what was out there then. And I'm trying to think of what the other book that I was told to read. I can't remember the other book at the time, but it was the best thing for me that I learned to start reading network marketing, and I became fascinated by the profession. I stayed with that company, and it's where I got to know Tarl and Alfred and Alec all very, very well. I stayed with that company until it was sold in 1999. In 1999, and I was actually had made my way onto the advisory board by that time. I was one of 4 Canadians. And when we learned the company was selling to Rexall, the company to a company that also bought Rexall called Royal Numico, they own GNC, I decided it was time to leave. Now, Alex stayed there, Alfred stayed there, and Tarl's parents were still there. But I left at that time, and I went to my second company. And I took all my skills because in those years, I really studied the profession of network marketing. I went to courses. I really, really got engaged. In fact, in January of 1999, I resigned from my nursing position. My husband sold his accounting practice because in that short time, we had learned the business. Didn't build it like as quickly as we could now. Took us till January of 97. It took us almost 2.5 years to get to a $10,000 a month income. But we did that while having teenagers, little kids, and having his full-time practice and my full-time business, my full-time career. But we learned what could be done. So we went into the second business, Melaleuca, and I was there for 10 years. In my first month, I earned over $21,000. But that's not because of 1 month's worth. That was because of 4 years' work. And I took all of those skills and I ran with it. Because one of the things I had learned is it's better to build fast and slow. And if you can give it all when you decide to build a business, and this is what I say to my team, you might be an ambassador for a year or 2 years, and you may be playing with it. But the day you decide that you really want to build this business, that day is the first day you really launch your business. You may be a silver, you may be a gold, but the day you decide that you're going emerald and you really, really want to build this business, that day, you should put everything you can and have what we call a season of imbalance for 30 to 90 days, where if you really only have 10 hours a week to work the business, work 30 hours if you can do it for a short period of time, because that's how momentum is created. It's hard to create momentum unless you can get some massive action in a short period of time. So when I went into that second company, I decided, and I had already left my nursing career, so I did have more time, and by this time my children, the youngest were born in 1990 and 1992. This is 1999, so they're a little bit older now. They're out of diapers and everything in school at this point, so I had a little bit more time. So I decided to really give it all. And that first month, making over $20,000 was a collection of a lot of years of work and their comp plan that gives some sort of upfront bonuses. Had a great year that year and earned over $400,000 in my very first year. But what I quickly learned is that this company did not have a great comp plan. It was great for me because I was a networker by this point. It was not great for the people who were just learning the business. They could not get a significant income quickly, other than some bonus money. In Plexus, what I love is that the money you earn, aside from the little bonuses like your gold and your senior gold, your ruby, is residual. It's true residual. As you build month after month, you can build your income bigger and bigger and bigger. In that company, the likelihood is if you built fairly quickly, you got some good bonuses, but then your check just crashed. And I'll give you an example. As is the case with a lot of matrix plans. If you have 10 customers in that company, and this is a little thing, just for a little thing for you to just be able to ask people if you're talking to them if they're in another company. In Plexus, it's almost dollar to PV is almost equal. Almost equal. You know, if it's 90 PV, it may be $100, but it's pretty close. In that company, $100 in Melaleuca, for those who want to know the company, $100 of cash spent in a month actually is about 35 PV. They pay 7% PV on your customers, or what we call ambassadors. They call marketing executives when you sign them up. So if they do a 35 PV order, that's $2.45. So if you have 10 customers spending $100, you're making about 25. If we have 10 customers spending $100, let's just say they buy the accelerator and slim package, and that works out to be about $100. Well, you know, that's $400 we get paid. So we can get somebody a significant residual income in their very first month by having a couple sip and shares. So I learned quickly that that comp plan wasn't great, but I still didn't really know comp plans that well. So I spent a lot of years, because it was paying us good money. We had both left our professional careers. We now had kids entering university. We had young kids, but we had kids entering university as well. So we were kind of stuck in a sense because we were making good money, but we knew it wasn't where we wanted to spend our future. But we did spend almost 10 years there. But in that 10-year period, I studied more and I studied more. And in fact, fast track a number of years later, in 2011, I was given the opportunity to travel across the United States and collect information about compensation plans. We were delivering information with the American Network Marketing Professional Association. And I started with Orrin Woodward. Some of you may know Orrin Woodward. He's written some great leadership books out in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and finished all the way in Sacramento. We did 8 companies in 8 days in 7 states because 2 companies were in Texas. And that was fascinating because we traveled with a comp plan engineer. And so we talked the whole time because we were flying from one state to the other every single day. And we talked a lot about why companies choose certain compensation plans and which ones really benefit the company, because in the end, the company has to stay viable too. So companies' argument is that we like these compensation plans that have what are called breakage. And breakage happens when somebody doesn't qualify for the full income and the company doesn't have what we have, full immediate compression that everything rolls up. In most companies, that's not the case. If somebody doesn't qualify, that extra money just flows to the company. And in fact, some will argue that in a lot of the comp plans out there, binaries, that even though theoretically they can pay 50% out to the field, in truth, probably somewhere around 30% gets actually paid out to the field because there's so much breakage in the comp plan and it rolls to the company. Well, Plexus doesn't have any breakage. We have that. First of all, we don't have any gotchas in our comp plan. And by that, I mean, in most companies, in order to be, say, a Ruby, they might say, well, and I'm using our terminology, to be a Ruby, you need to have a gold, at least 2 golds and 2 separate legs. And when you go senior Ruby, you've got to have a senior gold and 2 golds all in separate legs. That's where Tarl, Alfred, and Alec had all come from, like I did, where you had to have 6 legs with certain criteria to be at the top of the comp plan. If you want to be an emerald, well, now you got to have 6 legs, each with separate golds, personally enrolled. That's the way most comp plans are written. So what happens is you have the sales, but it's so hard to get that balance of all of those personals at this level. Well, you know, in Plexus, you can go all the way to diamond and not even have a personal gold because it has nothing to do with other people's rank advancement. It's totally volume. By volume, I mean a Ruby's 500 points, a Senior Ruby 750 points, an Emerald is 1,500 points. Wherever those points come from, it doesn't matter. It can be volume that's created by somebody on your second or on your third or on your fourth, but if it adds up to be 1,500, you are an Emerald. That's unheard of in network marketing because companies put in place absolute, almost guarantees that money's going to roll up. So when people say to us, yeah, but we have these plexus points that vary, I'm going to tell you it is our gold mine that we have a plexus points that alter just a little bit. It's what protects the company from getting their 50%, but it also protects us from getting our full 50% because the company has absolutely no breakage. There is no breakage because if somebody buys a welcome pack and somebody in the 4 levels is inactive, it rolls up again. And same thing with our plexus points. If somebody's inactive, it rolls up. It always pays 7 levels. No matter what, it always pays those 7 levels. That is unheard of in network marketing. So our comp plan, when I was looking in 2012, because my third company I went to was a binary. And I sort of got convinced that there were aspects to that binary that were a little bit different. And I started in that company late June, like June 30th of 2008. I built there very quickly. But 1 year later, by 2009, although I had good income, I had the same darn experience that I had with my previous 2 companies, and that is for the little guy, it was hard to get him that $400 or $500. And when I say little guy, it's because most people don't come in as network marketers. They come in as people wanting a little bit of money, and we develop them into network marketers. We help them evolve into a builder. But in most comp plans, if you can't get the money in their hands to help them evolve into a builder, then we have a challenge in keeping them. So in Plexus, where we can have somebody come in brand new, and we can really legitimately say to them, hey, if you have a couple sip and shares, or I help you to enroll a few customers, you can get your products for free. Heck, you could make a $400 check in your very first month. You could even make $1,000 if you just start introducing some builders and getting enough customers. But that's very, very hard to do in most comp plans, and ours is residual. If it happens in comp plans, it's typically one-time bonuses, not like Plexus. People say to me, in fact, I had a conversation the other day with somebody on my team who was talking to somebody who was looking at another company, and their comment was that they had these bonuses, bigger bonuses that we don't have. And that is true. We don't have these big bonuses, but let me tell you what we do have. We have the residual that is far higher than anything I've seen. Think about it, it's almost $3 a point. And if it's 5 points on 3 levels, that's 15 on a $100 order. That's 15% on level 1. That's 15% on level 2. That's 15% on level 3. 12% on level 4. If you're, again, 4 points, $3 on a $100 order. That is crazy, crazy return. So our residual is far higher than most companies have. And it's the residual that matters because that's what pays you every single month. If you can have a reliable residual income month after month, that's more important than that bigger bonus that some companies have. But if you can stay on this to Emerald, then on top of our incredible pay point residual, we then have our Emerald pool, which is a residual that pays us every single month as well. Not based on if you grew, which is where I came from in Maluka, you got this money because it was called a growth bonus only if you grew. Here you get it month after month, but then you go to Sapphire and they still give you the Emerald pool, residual. Sapphire pool, residual. Because if you guys want a secure future, you need secure residual income, not bonus income. So that was something that I really liked. I loved the fact that people could come in here, and if they don't need product that month, you know, we do use it every month, but if you didn't need it that month, if you had customers ordering, that qualified you for your paycheck. Because I have 2 positions, because I inherited my husband's when he passed away, I have 2 Emerald positions. I don't really need to order product from 2 positions for 1 person. My kids all have their own account. They order their own product. So I don't really need that extra product. And except on the occasion that maybe I decide that I want to get some extra product and I might order through my husband's account because there's customers I never have to order through his account but still qualify for the full pay every month. That's a great thing. Another great thing that in a lot of companies is they have the amount of points they are required to order as their business grows with them. You know, maybe it's 100 PV when you come in, and then it's 200 PV when you're sort of mid-range leadership, and then it's 300 PV when you're near the top. Some are as high as 500. So they're requiring you to either eat a lot of product, inventory a lot of product, or sell a lot of product. Where in Plexus, it's 100 PV no matter what level you are. I wouldn't even have an issue if they said when you're Emerald, it has to be 200, or when it's Ruby, it has to be 200, because that's still below the threshold of most companies. But at this point, Plexus has said we're going to keep it that way because we want to pay people well to market and educate people about our product, but we don't want to get them into that place where they're required to order what they don't need. And that's a really great thing. So nobody here should have a bunch of inventory sitting in their house unless they choose to have that. So I guess my counsel to you would be to really get what kind of comp plan we have here, that we have a comp plan that is so rich, a comp plan that is so strong compared to most compensation plans out there. It is such an incredible comp plan that you can stand up beside anybody who is doing another company. And just a few simple things you can ask them. You can say, if in your company, if you have 10 customers spending $100 a month, what would your residual be on that? Question number one. Question number two might be, hey, if you just had three people sign up, what would it cost them to sign up and do the business? And if they qualified each month with a 100 PV order, what would that pay you? Because in a lot of companies, especially if there's binary, if they sign up 3, that means there's 2 on one leg and there's 1 on another. They're only actually getting paid on that one. They're not getting paid on the other 2 because a binary only pays you on the lesser of the 2 legs. So they sign up 3 and they're only getting paid on 1. As crazy as that sounds, that's the way it is. And as crazy as that sounds, in a lot of the binaries, if you only have 1 on the smaller leg, you're actually not really qualified for much pay because they might require a minimum of 2 on each leg. So before you can really qualify to make money, you need to have enrolled 4 people in the business. You may find in some of the people you're talking, their startup cost is $500 or $1,000. Not like it is here with your welcome pack and your membership, $133. So those simple questions: what would you get paid if you had 10 customers spending $100? And what would be your residual check if you had three business builders qualifying at 100? Most people won't be able to give you the answers that Plexus can give you on that. And that can sometimes be the defining difference. And for people to know that they're not required to order every single month to get paid, that's another really big thing. That's a big thing. So people feel like the business costs them money. We can say here in Plexus, you shouldn't be out of money from your very first month. Because if you just do a few simple things, you're going to get your money back in your very first month. You should be making money in your very first month here. And so when you hear a lot of the teaching in network marketing, especially the older teaching where it says things like, you earn while you learn, but it's a low-cost business, but don't expect to make money right away. Your first 6 months, you should just be learning the business. At least it's not like traditional business that you're out thousands and thousands of dollars. Where here we can really say right from the first month you sign up, you should be profitable. And there's not too many businesses that we can say that. Cindy, I know you didn't give me any direction. You just said go wherever you feel like you're led to go. Do you have any questions or anything you want me to mention before we get off?
Do you mind if we do a little where they can ask you some questions?
Sure.
So if you have any questions for Natalie, right now you can go ahead and unmute and ask her any questions you have. That would be awesome. So just unmute yourself if you have one. Don't be shy. Anyone? Todd?
Natalie, I have a question for you. I listened to your YouTube video yesterday when I was driving, and I really liked how you broke up the different plans. I didn't know, I'm kind of new to this whole thing, so I didn't understand everyone else's plan, let alone my plan. How do you approach people who might be doing it from a business standpoint, but like me, they didn't know either plan? So a Kia seemed like a good car if you've never driven a car. How do I explain it in layman's terms to someone who's just starting, or do I even explain that to them? You kind of break people up into networkers and non-networkers, it seems. Is that accurate?
Well, maybe an easy way to do it is breaking them up from sort of wholesale customers and builders, as opposed to using that terminology. Because I'll say to people, what I love about this comp plan is that you can come in here with the goal of earning a little bit of money, and you're not really a builder, but you're somebody who could refer customers to the company. And so if you're kind of a referring ambassador who wants to get their products wholesale, you can actually generate a significant check before you ever start to build a network, which is not normal in network marketing. So we have kind of two distinct ambassadors. We've got the people who just want to refer some customers and make a little bit of money, get their products free, maybe make an extra $400 or $500 a month. Then we have our builders who actually want to learn to build organizations and build leadership and personally grow, and develop, a network and a residual income come through a network of ambassadors. And so I'll say to people, most network marketing plans doesn't allow success unless you can build a network. Where Plexus, you can build a significant income. I had a guy who knew how to do stuff online, Nathan. His business has gone down quite a bit. He went traveling for a year. He was generating checks of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month without any ambassadors. He just had really high personal volume and tons of preferred customers coming in every month. So we can build an income without building a network. And that's unusual network marketing. So it takes the fear away from somebody who has no experience and doesn't feel yet capable of building a network. We can tell them it's okay. They can come in and build an income before they build a network. But we'll help you evolve into a business builder where you actually have a network. I don't know if that helps, Todd.
No, it does. I've had some success on signing up people, but I haven't had much success on building people for people. And so that's why I was wondering if I'm not explaining the comp plan well enough, if I'm not letting them see the vision of it, or so I really enjoyed your videos I listened to yesterday.
Oh, well, thank you.
If I have somebody that I even think has like I can see that they need this or they don't even know yet, I let them watch that video of Natalie's. I'll send that to them and just ask them to watch it for me. And that's a great tool. I think it's an awesome tool for us Golds to use. Use it with your downline and use it with your customers too, especially if they've been in another multi-level marketing company. They will really understand, especially because a lot of them I know have been in the binary ones. And when they hear Natalie explained the difference, it's really amazing tool. I thank you for that, Natalie.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You did a phone call too. Remember that phone call you did? There's a phone call out there that I love. That's the first time I heard you explain it.
Would that be the one on teaching how to do 3 ways, why you do 3 ways, and how to do it?
No, it was on the comp plan, and it was a phone call you did. And I'm going to find it and I'll put it in this page.
Okay, I don't remember it.
I bet.
Okay.
I have a question, Natalie.
Okay.
You said you had beginners books back then when you first started for network marketing. Now that you're where you are, what would you want to give to a beginner who you're hoping to, like I'm a real beginner, but what would be a good book for someone that's coming into my organization who's never done network marketing before?
Well, the 2 that I use mostly because they're easy reads and I figure people will finish them is Sarah Robbins' Rock Your Network Marketing Business and Go Pro by Eric Worre. Those are the first 2 I like people to have. And I do like them, and we're doing it with a few different groups right now, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, because I think it really helps people learn the leadership principles to teach them to teach others to grow their business. And so then, once they're sort of integrated in the business, I think that's a great book, and I think I have on the team doing it.
Now, I have to get my gallbladder.
Oops.
I don't know if somebody was asking something there.
I'm not sure. Okay. Well, we're right at 9, and I like to respect everybody's time on here. So I'm gonna close it out now, and I thank you so much, Natalie. That was amazing. I learned so much again. I'm gonna watch it again, and just I love that we record them so we can watch them over.
Well, thank you guys so much, and I look forward to watching you all have success and meeting as many of you as possible at convention.
Yes, we will all be there.
Okay.
Everyone,
thank you so much,
have a great day, and let's all thank Natalie.
Thanks, Natalie. It was awesome.